Hello. You have joined the Script Mistress again for scene 24, Character Archetype Series, The Warrior. Oh, I am your host, Amber Bosworth, and you are in for a special treat. For the next 12 episodes or so, maybe I'll interweave a couple of interviews in there, hopefully from my winners. But for the next 12 episodes at least, I'm going to go and dig deep into each of the 12 popular archetypes, character archetypes. I barely scratched the surface in my episode all the way back to scene 11. Now go back and listen if you wanted just a quick rundown of those 12 types. You can also find that at thescriptmistress.com/scene 11. And I also have this all on YouTube. If you want to stay up to date on my podcast, my events, and challenges, please get on my mailing list at thescriptmistress.com. I also have this whole episode on video at thescriptmistress.com/scene 24 for your enjoyment, along with a completely free download that you can find on that page. I created something brand new specifically for these 12 character archetypes. I'm really excited about this. I've also started that Script Mistress YouTube channel. All of these episodes are available there as well if you don't want to do all the reading and go through that. And then I have the link in my show notes for the for the YouTube channel. Sorry. Now the April Ink to Screen Challenge is now open for registration. I run a monthly short screenwriting challenge where writers get 5 days to write a new 5-page screenplay based on a prompt sent out the first day of the challenge. The winner gets $150, and every writer that submits a completed script gets detailed feedback. This is all included in the $15 entry fee, just $15. Check it all out at thescriptmistress.com/ink to screen. Now, the April challenge runs from April 19th to the 23rd. So sign up now so you can get in there. Now, just for a quick reminder, here are the 12 character archetypes in Carl Jung's world: the warrior, the child, the orphan, the creator, the caregiver, the mentor, the joker, the magician, the ruler, the rebel, the lover, and the seducer. But today we start with number 1. Got to start somewhere. And we're going to start with the warrior. Now, these are going to be very short and sweet. And I'll give examples, strengths, weaknesses, and some examples at the end, but really short and sweet, and where we can really kind of dig deep a little bit more into these character archetypes for you. And that way you could just listen to whatever podcast episode you might be working on. Like, I have the Rebel in my series or in my script right now. I'll just listen to that episode. So that'll be coming up, I promise. Now, the warrior, better with a sword and a speech. The warrior is usually the person with the plan, a traditional hero in every sense of the word. They are there to rally the troops and to take them into battle, or to rob a casino, or out of Egypt, or across no man's land to save troops on the other side. Tough and courageous, this archetype helps us set and achieve goals, overcome obstacles, and persist in difficult times. Although it also tends to see others as enemies and to think in either or terms, very black and white, the warrior can be sometimes. The warrior archetype is associated also with male virility, eroticism, power, and physical strength, rather than romanticism associated with the similar knight archetype. Now, that's not really in there. I got some of these too. So I'm not only pulling from screenwriting archetypes, but also like from literary terms, or even from mythological terms as well. What makes these types so strong and powerful, and how you can make them really special in your script. Now, they are able to maintain composure and never panic, even amidst the most trying of circumstances. This means that they are often found in professions such as the military, policing, medicine, firefighting, or the Coast Guards. The warrior possesses a gift for quick but rational thinking, and has good instincts, which, combined with spontaneity, allows them to act fast, for the greater good. However, the archetypal warrior can also be obsessive by nature, easily consumed by the need to be prepared for battle. They also are likely to choose conflict as a means of solving problems rather than more peaceful means such as diplomacy, escalating situations where this was not necessary. They can also be prone to rage and anger unless they have learned to manage their emotions in a healthy manner, bottling up their feelings until they explode. Now, some strengths of the warrior: physical and or mental prowess, confident, collected, ready for anything. Now, the weaknesses of the warrior: egotistical, underestimates opponents, can be overconfident. The warrior's motivation: someone has to save the day. Why not me? Now, again, use these strengths and these weaknesses. If you have the warrior archetype in your script, think about the things that can make them really strong and some things that can get in their way. This can really help you, especially if you're writing something very formulaic or if you're trying to break free of some of these rules too. Like maybe that's what their goal is to overcome their ego or something else there, and underestimates opponents. Like that's how we have those final battles and they rally and they overcome. So please use some of these in your script. Now I'm going to go over 3 warrior examples from modern cinema. The warrior king who laid down his life for Greece in 300. Set in 479 BC, the 300 follower the 300 follows the Spartan kingdom in their resistance of the all-conquering Persian army. The film starts out uncovering the tough childhood of King Leonidas. We see the training he endures from an early age that turns him into the warrior he is today. He spends nights out in the winter cold, scavenging for food, battling bigger opponents, and even taking on demonic wolves. Years of fighting are depicted through a montage, molding him into a formidably wise and combat familiar king. The Spartan king. Like all great warrior archetypes, Leonidas faces a threat that has vanquished the majority that stood up to it. We learn this when Xerxes, the antagonist and self-proclaimed god king, sends a messenger beckoning Sparta for its surrender. The Persian messenger brings the treasures of fallen kings to the city to illustrate Xerxes' immense power and how he obliterates everything in his way. Nobly defiant and fearless like the warrior he is, Leonidas refuses to surrender, challenging an army that vastly outnumbers his own. The king defies the seer's warnings that the Spartan army not go to war during the Carnea. Oh, wow. Special tribal festival. He fakes a leisurely trip with 300 men as his personal guard. King Leonidas and the 300 eventually end up fighting hordes, successfully taking down thousands before they fall. The king fought for his countrymen, knowing that his death would rally Sparta and all of Greece against the Persians. By showing others that the threat wasn't unbeatable, Leonidas inspires courage and the hope for a better tomorrow. He's a true warrior in every sense of the word. But we still go through that the ego that he works through, but he has to fight that. As a warrior and a king, I mean, talk about ego trip, but he has to fight that and work through that. And that is his internal battle as he goes and has to defend his land. So very good there. Another example, the Alien Warriors and the Predator movies. Now, a warrior doesn't have to be a man, and a war isn't always involved. The Predator exhibits certain traits that paint him as an intergalactic warrior in the movies. They are brave and fearless, never backing down from a fight, even when greatly outmatched. The alien species in the Predator is a warrior race that takes pride in honorable combat, ignoring the fact that they use humans as bait and kill for sport. The Predator is as noble as a warrior as they come. Sure, weaker species feature in their coming of age contest, but compared to the typical deer hunter, they fight quite fairly. Fairly, yeah. The extraterrestrial soldier, the predator rarely takes on an unarmed combatant and mostly retaliates only when it feels threatened, in which case it doesn't back down until the threat is eliminated. Every problem is resolved through violence or not at all, like the naive archetypal warrior that they are. Their honor in combat is, however, unquestionable, and that is what truly sets them apart and earns them the warrior tag. Like the title demands, the predator also keeps trophies of his opponents to commemorate his victories. To the predator, life's most valued aspect is battle. It is a treasured part of their heritage, and every warrior upholds this long standing tradition. They live for it, training their whole lives to be the best warriors they can be. So honorable they are that they are even courteous in defeat, recognizing a worthy opponent, albeit before triggering a self destruct sequence to avoid capture. So, just again, where we don't have to be on planet Earth, we do not have to be human to be a warrior. There's so many ways that you can incorporate the characteristics and the strengths and the weaknesses of the warrior into whatever character you are creating. And it doesn't have to be an adult, and it doesn't have to be a man. My next example, Diana in the Wonder Woman movies. Princess Diana from Wonder Woman is a classic warrior archetype. Her early life is built upon the foundations of battle. Set to inherit the kingdom and the Amazon army, Diana cuts her teeth with rigorous training, which she started as soon as she was able to walk. We get a glimpse of that part of the warrior's journey in 2020's success, Wonder Woman 1984. Diana takes part in the Amazons version of the Olympics, beating opponents twice her age in various tasks. She is unmoved by the size and experience of her opponents, diving headstrong into challenges. So, the warrior queen. The warrior typically fights for a greater cause than themselves. Princess Diana trains to not only serve her people as queen, but also uphold their obligation as guardians of the world. The tribe is charged with defending the realms from the god of war Ares, and they led their lives preparing for this moment. Diana fights to protect her friends as well as save the planet in 2017's Wonder Woman. Her empathy and devotion to keeping others safe sees Diana battle all sorts of foes during her two-movie journey so far. She sacrifices love and more for the good of others, standing up and fighting for those who can't do it for themselves. Diana is fierce on the battleground and oozes unmatched inner strength too. But again, with the warrior archetype, it is ego. She believes in the first movie that it's Ares, that who is Ares? So she ends up killing the general um of the German army when he wasn't Ares. She let her ego and her hubris and her naivety for the world blind her from what was right in front of her face and make, I mean, not a terrible mistake. I mean, still a bad guy, but something that she was quick to learn from. So again, she overcame that and she learned from it. So how can you create the warrior character in your next script? Yes. All right. I have a link to the resources where I got some of these great quotes, some of these great writings and everything. I'll have that in my show notes at scene 24. Now, the writing action. I have created a new worksheet for these 12 archetypes. It's a really fun, just kind of a character worksheet where you can go over the archetype, write down the weaknesses and strengths for the character that you're building and mold it into that character. You can totally get it here. You can get it on the scene 24, or you can get it on the scriptmistress.com/archetypes. But I'll have a link to it in the show notes, and I'll also have a link to it on that scene 24. So please feel free to share some of your thoughts on Facebook, on the Facebook page, Ink to Screen, or email me at amber@thescriptmistress.com to get extra help. I'd love to help you out. And again, don't forget about the monthly screenwriting challenge. April is open for registration. You could win $150, and absolutely get feedback on your writing if you submit a completed script, all for just $15. Check it all out at thescriptmistress.com/ink to screen. Thank you again for listening or watching. I truly value any feedback. If you have an idea for a podcast that might help with your writing, you can email me at amber@thescriptmistress.com, or if you're watching this, you can leave a comment. Let me know if there's something that you would like for me to discuss after we go over all these 12 character archetypes. And listen, like, and follow the show wherever you are listening. Talk soon. I'm really excited. And next episode, we will move on to the child. Number 2, the child. So until then, happy writing.